When my son stopped calling me Mom, I didn't notice it at first. It happened quietly, the kind of change that slips in without knocking. At first it was small things, a shorter call, a distracted tone, a hey instead of hi Mom. But one day I heard it. The word Mom was gone. He said my name instead, just my name, like I was a distant friend or someone he had to deal with out of duty. That moment felt strange. Not loud, not dramatic, just cold, like walking into a room you've lived in your whole life and realizing the furniture's been moved while you were asleep. He didn't mean to hurt me, I know that. But that small word carried years of love, memories, and meaning. And when it disappeared, something inside me quietly broke too. I used to think relationships ended with fights, with shouting or slammed doors, but I learned they sometimes end with silence, with a word that slowly fades away. This is the story of how that happened. How I, a mother who once thought love was unbreakable, learned what distance really means. It's not a story of blame. It's a story of time, choices, and quiet realizations. And maybe if someone hears it, they'll call their mom before it's too late. My name is Claire. I'm 62 now, though most days I still feel 30. I live alone in a small house at the edge of town. It's quiet here, the kind of quiet that used to scare me, but now I've made peace with it. The house has 3 bedrooms, though only one is really used anymore. The others are filled with memories, boxes of old toys, photographs, school projects. My son Daniel grew up here. Every corner of this house carries a piece of him. When he was little, he'd call out, "Mom, look," at least 100 times a day. "Mom, look at my drawing. Mom, can I help you bake? Mom, come outside, I found something cool." The word Mom was constant. It echoed through the house like music. I used to get tired of it sometimes. I'd smile and say, "Danny, give me a minute, sweetheart," while cooking dinner or folding laundry. Back then, I never imagined I'd miss that sound so much. Daniel was my only child. His father and I separated when he was 7. It wasn't ugly, just 2 people who grew apart. We both loved him deeply, though, and we tried to keep things steady for his sake. He spent weekdays with me, weekends with his dad. Every Sunday night, he'd come home, drop his bag by the door, and yell, "Mom, I'm starving." And I'd laugh and say, "Good. I made spaghetti." He was a quiet kid, but kind. Thoughtful in small ways, the kind that matter. He'd pick wildflowers from the yard and put them in a glass on the kitchen table. He'd write me notes on Mother's Day, little crayon drawings that said, "Best mom ever." Life was simple then. School runs, birthday cakes, late-night fevers. I didn't have much money, but we had enough. And we had each other. For years, that was all I needed. As he grew older, things changed, of course. Teenagers pull away. It's natural. He got busier, quieter. His friends became his world. But even then, there was still warmth. He'd say, "Love you, Mom," before heading out the door. He'd still call me from college to ask about laundry or recipes. It was only later, years later, when the distance became something deeper. Not just miles, but something harder to name. Daniel met Emma during his 2nd year of college. She was bright, ambitious, kind in her own way. I liked her the first time we met. She had that confident smile, the kind that fills a room. They were young and in love, and I wanted to give them space. I remember telling myself, "Don't be that mom who can't let go." When they got engaged, I was happy, genuinely happy. I cried when he told me. He laughed and said, "Mom, you're acting like I'm leaving forever." I said, "Well, in some way you are." He hugged me and said, "I'll always be your boy." I believed him. The wedding was beautiful, small and simple. I wore a blue dress Daniel said suited me. After the ceremony, he came over, hugged me tightly and whispered, "Thank you for everything, Mom." That moment stayed with me. I thought, he'll never stop saying that word. But life after marriage changes things. At first, we spoke every few days, then every week. Then it became once every few weeks. I told myself it was normal. They were building a life together. Still, I missed him. I missed the calls, the questions, the laughter. When I did call, sometimes Emma would answer. She was always polite but distant. "Hi, Claire," she'd say. Not "Hi, Mom," not "Hi, Mrs. Turner," just Claire. It felt odd, but I brushed it off. One day, I asked Daniel if they'd visit for the weekend. He said they were too busy. Next time, Mom, he promised. Next time didn't come. Months turned into a year. I started seeing pictures online. Birthdays, dinners, trips. In every photo, Daniel looked happy. I told myself that's what mattered. But there's a strange ache that comes when you realize your child's happiness no longer includes you. Then one evening, he called. "Hey, Claire," he said, and I froze. He didn't realize what he'd said. He just kept talking about his new job, his apartment, his plans. I kept smiling, my voice steady. But inside, something shifted. After we hung up, I sat in silence. I whispered the word mom to myself, like I was testing if it still belonged to me. From then on, it became a pattern. "Hey, Claire. How are you, Claire?" "Thanks, Claire." It was subtle but final. He never said mom again. At first, I thought I'd bring it up, maybe tease him about it, make it lighthearted. But every time I tried, something stopped me. I didn't want to sound needy. I didn't want him to feel guilty. So I said nothing. Instead, I adjusted. I started saying Daniel instead of sweetheart. I started ending calls with take care instead of love you, because that's how distance works. You start matching the other person's tone until you both forget what closeness used to sound like. Holidays became quiet. I sent gifts, but sometimes they went unacknowledged. He called on Christmas briefly between gatherings. I'd hear laughter in the background, voices, music, life. And I'd smile and say, "Sounds lovely," even though I was sitting alone in my kitchen with the lights dimmed. Neighbors would ask about him. "How's your son doing?" They'd say, "Oh, he's great." I'd answer quickly, "Very busy with work." It was easier than explaining the truth, that I didn't really know how he was doing anymore. Sometimes, late at night, I'd look through old photo albums. There was one picture, him at age 6, wearing his little red sweater, smiling with missing teeth. He was holding my hand, looking up like I was his whole world. And I'd whisper, "Where did that boy go?"